This mouth-watering game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Earlier on tonight, Olympiacos and Paphos drew 0-0 in Piraeus. Slavia Prague drew 2-2 with Bodo Glimt in the opening game for both those two teams. Ajax into Milan, Liverpool against Atletico's live on Talksport, and PSG against Atalanta, all on the scene tonight as the league phase goes into its second night of 3 on match day 1. We'll bring you updates from the English League Cup, the Carabao Cup, Swansea against Nottingham Forest, which starts tonight at 8 o'clock. But the music you can hear in the background is the famous anthem to the biggest club competition in the world. 110 days since hosting a memorable final, the Bavarian capital is staging Champions League action again. Chelsea, the visitors, as they return to the scene of one of their most painful nights in the host Bayern's illustrious history, and one of the most famous nights that Blues fans can remember. Chelsea spent last season in the third UEFA competition, featuring in the Champions League for the first time since April 2023, but triumphs in the Conference League and the Club World Cup have emboldened Chelsea fans believe that they can compete at this level. It's not been a brilliant start to the Premier League season. The West Ham game aside, tepid performances against Palace and Brentford, and a fortunate win at home to Fulham have suggested there's more work to be done with a young group that have suffered early season injuries. Bayern have had a great start, and that front four of Kane, Elise, Luis Diaz and Gnabry have rattled in 18 of the 19 goals that Bayern have scored already. They all start tonight. Chelsea's defence has been described as suspect for a while, but Maresca's team often pull it out of the fire, Andy, when they play the big boys.
Yes, they do. We saw that in the Club World Cup against PSG. Although they were a little undercooked, PSG, going into that game, Chelsea were terrific. Tactically, absolutely spot on, and a lot of really big and clever performances from them. So they know that they're going to have to play really well here today. You don't come to the Allianz and get away with a performance, get a poor performance, get away with not really turning up. I think they all know tonight that they've got to make sure that they're very disciplined, that they keep their heads in those key moments. And if they go behind, Sam, it's not the end of the world. You're in one of the toughest places to go in world football. If you go behind, you stay with it, you keep your cool, and you wait for the opportunity to try and strike back.
Enzo Maresca has just embraced Vincent Kompany on the touchline. Those two worked together at Manchester City back in the day. 4 changes for Chelsea. Bayern unchanged from their win against Hamburg. Our referee tonight is from Spain, Juan Sanchez Martinez. And the VAR keeping the all-seeing eye is Carlos Del Ferro Grande. Rhys James says he dreamed about captaining Chelsea in the Champions League. That dream comes true tonight. He is the only remaining member of the Chelsea squad that won the 2021 European Champions League. Manuel Neuer remembers the 2012 final.
Yeah, very true, very true. I mean, it's amazing. Manuel Neuer is still between the posts of this club. He's had an incredible career, club and country, but he's still there.
Certainly is. He's looking to rack up 100 Champions League wins tonight. Only the 4th player in history to do that. Should he achieve it tonight, he will achieve it at some point this season. Chelsea with Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Tosin and Cucurella the back four, James and Caicedo holding, Palmer, Fernandes and Neto behind João Pedro in attack. They're in blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks this evening. Already there's been a little bit of a discussion on the touchline between the officials and the two managers. I'm not entirely sure what that's all about, Andy. The 4th official just having a word in both their ear. I mean, they're good friends. They're not coming to blows.
No, not at all. Not exactly sure what that was. Probably a little bit about maybe the antics that might go on in the technical areas, making sure they all obey the rules.
Well, Chelsea are the Conference League winners. They are the world champions. What have they got against the Bundesliga best? Bayern Munich, Neuer in goal, Lima, Upamecano, Tah and Stanisic, Kimmich and Pavlovic, Elise, Gnabry and Diaz behind Harry Kane in attack. They're in their home kit, which they didn't play in once last season because of a contrast clash. It breached UEFA's rules, so they could only wear their away and third kit last season. They're back in red tonight with 2 thick white blurry stripes down the front of their home jersey. They're shooting from left to right in this first half, Chelsea from right to left. It's live on Talksport 2 tonight. Bayern Munich against Chelsea, and the former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend is here. And Andy, I suppose the big question is, can Chelsea hold off that Bayern front line?
Well, look, they're going to have to work very hard, make sure that they have get their distances right, don't want to drop too deep and allow Bayern to play, don't squeeze too high and give them all the space in behind. So little key things like that they've got to make sure they get absolutely right. Without the ball, you've got to be really good. You might have to be a little bit better with it in order to walk away with something significant tonight.
Luis Diaz over on the far touchline, who's settled into life in Bavaria rather well, gets it back to the centre circle. Upamecano, muscular and strong, guides the ball out to Elise, who spent a very long time in the Chelsea academy, 7 years before leaving for Manchester City. Chelsea actually had thought they'd signed him back at one stage after activating his release clause, only for the move to fall through. Kimmich, who will operate in the centre of midfield but will drop into the back line when they're building up play, sends it out wide towards the left, cut out by James on halfway, and Chelsea have possession for the first time really in the match. 0-0 after a minute.
Yeah, and again, Chelsea just getting their first few touches. Robert Sanchez just pinging one forward in behind.
And
decent
he's
ball.
Gone long to Gusto, who's gone speeding forward, gets behind Stanisic, in towards Neto. He gets a little bump from behind, didn't connect with it. And the ball runs through the penalty area, goes out the other side. There's a scrap between Fernandes and Kimmich. It goes out for a throw-in. And Neto initially looks as if he wanted to get a penalty.
Yeah, I tell you, that's a really good ping, that, from the goalkeeper to Malo Gusto, who makes a raking run down that right side, knocks it into the box first time. Neto just can't apply the touch. And Enzo Fernandez puts pressure on Kimmich at the far post. It's a Chelsea throw-in.
Well, Enzo Fernandez can't believe that, because he says it clearly went out for a corner.
Yeah.
And they are just waiting now just to check the VAR decision.
Can they do that? Can they check this sort of thing?
Well, no, they're checking the VAR decision to see whether or not there was a push in the centre. And I think there's certainly been some discussion with the officials, because they're all mic'd up, whether it went out for a corner or a throw-in. They have decided throw-in. The Chelsea player's furious.
Yeah, Marc Cucurella with the throw, about 2 yards from the corner spot.
Tossed it in towards the edge of the penalty area. Goes all the way back to halfway, and Chalobah spoons it back to his goalkeeper Robert Sanchez, who actually has created the first chance of the night with that huge raking ball from the edge of his penalty area out to the Chelsea right. Malo Gusto getting high up there, and I suppose having Reece James in the team tonight in midfield and being able to drop into a back three when they're building up play means that Gusto can go on.
Yes, he can, you're absolutely right. Tosin and Chalobah splitting 50-60 yards apart, the full width of the field. And then obviously Reece James or Moises Caicedo can just drop in there, pick the ball up, and as you say, that allows Malo Gusto, who really is an aggressive running fullback. You don't want him just sitting behind the game all the time. You want him to get going when he can.
Chelsea have given the ball back to Bayern Munich rather cheaply this time. Robert Sanchez a little bit less accurate with his pass. He played it in between right back and right winger, and it goes out of play, and Bayern look to build once more. Benson Company's Bayern, runaway Bundesliga winners last season. They've started the season in style. They've scored 18 goals in all competitions over 4 matches. They've got maximum points in the league. They routed Hamburg 5-0 at the weekend. Kane was amongst the goals, but Enzo Fernandez has the ball on this near side, gives it to Pedro Neto, a little through the legs, nutmeg on Konrad Laimer. It comes back to the near touchline after a challenge by Elise, bumps off Cucurella and goes out for a throw-in. What a bit of skill from Neto.
Very nice, confident start. Pedro Neto there, under pressure from Konrad Laimer, as you say, came in to close him down, maybe even tackle him. Neto just pops it through his legs. But the last couple of minutes, Chelsea have had a decent amount of possession and look pretty comfortable.
Enzo Maresca, dressed in black tonight on the touchline, taking charge of his first Champions League game this evening. New experience for him. Bayern 6 times Champions League winners, and it's a demand around here, if you're the Bayern coach, that you signal your intent and certainly improve on last season's quarter-final exit. I was with them actually in San Siro when they went out in what was a brilliant game. In fact, Inter were involved in so many brilliant games last season, but the 2-legged tie against Bayern, I was at both legs. It was amazing to watch, but Bayern just weren't quite as sharp as they will need to be if they want to compete at the top level of the club game, which is in this competition.
It certainly is. You know, I was at Villa Park last season to see Aston Villa play Bayern, and they started that game that evening quite nicely. Obviously away from home, very different to what we're seeing here, but that amazing John Duran goal clinched it for Villa on the night. But again, that's why I like this format. I do like it, Sam, because I think the teams that are going to find it difficult in this sort of company, it gives you a chance to not panic. And for the best teams, likewise, if they don't play and get off to the very best of starts, then they know they've got to get their foot down and get going as the games start coming in.
Ball clearance by Jonathan Tah. It goes out for a throw in midway inside Bayern territory for Chelsea. 0-0 the score. Not the case at Anfield, where Liverpool have already taken the lead against Atletico Madrid. Pablo Barrios' own goal after 4 minutes has put them in front. In fact, make that 2. Liverpool 2-0 in front now. Mo Salah with the goal after just 6 minutes of the game. PSG 1-0 up against Atalanta. That game started fast as well. Marquinhos after 3 minutes, and here it's still goalless.
Yeah, they've had a funny start at Atletico Madrid actually to the season, and they find themselves 2 down at Anfield is not an ideal start for them again.
They could win at the weekend, but the bad start to the campaign.
They have.
Ball clipped clear by Jonathan Tah, trying to get the better of Trevor Chalobah, who has earned his place as a central pillar of the Chelsea defence now. Hooked clear, given away cheaply by Bayern, and now Palmer is on the race, down the right side, into the area, looks for the ball into Enzo Fernandez, and he didn't pull the trigger, it got caught between his legs, and it then cannons off the defender and goes behind, and they want a corner, but they should have a goal.
Oh, what a great bit of football. Fantastic ball from Cole Palmer. I thought we could have hit it first time. In fact, he definitely could have hit it first time. Just walk onto it, he's 7 yards out, 7-8 yards out. Absolute slap bang in the middle of the goal, and for some reason Enzo Fernandez wants to take a touch, and he gets pinched off his toe right at the last minute.
Well, it's good defending, but really should have been more ruthless in that scenario, and Chelsea could have been in front in the Allianz. It's still 0-0. Luis Diaz gets it back to Elise. Elise is halfway inside Chelsea territory. They quickly flex into almost a 5 at the back with Caicedo in the centre. Out wide it goes to Diaz, who's crosses towards Harry Kane, whose header is over the top of the crossbar. It's a good ball in. Yeah,
decent ball in. Pacey delivery from Luis Diaz with a bit of dip on it as well. Harry Kane at the far post waiting for it, and he leaps above Malo Gusto but just can't keep that header down. First time really we've seen Harry Kane involved. Again, no surprises that he's on the end of that cross.
It's a really good cross from Luis Diaz, who has settled nicely. Signed in the summer, made an immediate impact in each of his first 3 games he's scored in the Bundesliga, and he is a little bit of a firework, isn't he? You never quite know what direction he's going to go off in.
No, absolutely right. I mean, he's a ferocious worker when he's on the pitch, Luis Diaz, and certainly Marc Cucurella, if he's over on this side, and mainly it's going to be Elise, but whoever's got to deal with him, Malo Gusto probably on the far side. You've always got to be aware of Luis Diaz. He's always running, always testing you.
8 minutes gone. This is Talksport 2, live coverage from the Allianz Arena in Munich as the ball is sent long for João Pedro to chase into the right corner of the field. It's too firmly hit by Robert Sanchez and goes out. It's thrown back in on the far side, and Bayern now look to build.
That chance, Sam, we saw a few moments ago, great ball on it from Cole Palmer. Brilliant ball.
Terrific.
Because he's got that lovely left foot off the right side, he gets put in down that right side, and he's automatically filtering inside. He's got his head up looking for the runners, and he spots Enzo Fernandez with a beautiful 25-30 yard pass. Really, Chelsea should be in front.
That's the golden opportunity that we've had so far in the game. It went to Chelsea, but it's still 0-0. Here is Diaz from distance, shooting from miles out. He came in on his right foot from the left flank and moved into a central position. He was about 40 yards from goal when he decided to crack that.
Yeah, that was ambitious to say the least. Diaz just apologised to teammates because that one was 15 yards, 20 yards over the top.
Some iffy performances. You mentioned the Aston Villa game, Barcelona game, the final game in the league phase. They had to scrape past Celtic in a knockout playoff. In fact, I did that game for Talksport, and they were very close to going out. Really close. They came up with a goal in the last seconds of the game, which steered them past Celtic, who played very well.
They did
in that two-legged tie. Here's Stanisic left side, trying to get forward for Bayern Munich. Moves up towards the edge of the D, tries to find Kane, just evades him and runs through to the edge of the box. Chelsea clear. Pedro can't hold on to it. One back by Luis Diaz, and Bayern regain possession on halfway. In the centre circle, it's with Diaz and then to Pavlovic, who just fills in alongside the centre halves, and they build from the back once again. Bayern Munich. Tar, a new signing in the summer from Leverkusen, strides forward through the centre circle, tucks it out towards the left. Pavlovic now takes it on. He bounds forward past Palmer, takes on Gusto, continues to travel to the edge of the area. Chelsea eventually win it. Caicedo tucks it round the corner, but Gnabry wins it back. Edge of the box, left-footed shot, well wide of goal. And Robert Sanchez wasn't even very interested in that, but it was good hunting from Bayern Munich after initially they looked as if they'd lost the ball on the edge of the box.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was actually Moises Caicedo that tried to play a little square ball about 30 yards out. It got intercepted, and then Serge Gnabry it was who was onto it very quickly. You know, he didn't even hesitate to get his shot away. It's almost like they want to hit things early at Sanchez. We've seen that a couple of times now already. One from Luis Diaz from big distance, that one again.
Ball played down the right side again, and Tar backpedaling because João Pedro's got the ball. He's come infield and found Enzo Fernandez, who switched the play to the left. It's now taken on by Neto, whose cross is deflected, and that just allowed Stanisic, Lima, to come across and get the ball clear, and it breaks back out to this near touchline. And Neto being harassed by Elise. Chelsea on the attack in the left wing position with Neto, Cucurella, and then back centrally with Caicedo. Centre circle is Chalobah, forward to Palmer, lovely ball down the outside, in towards Gusto, first time ball into the centre. Upamecano gets in front of Enzo Fernandez, and it's tucked over the top and out for the first corner of the game.
Brilliant football again from Chelsea. Cole Palmer this time, he drops in to an area, picks the ball up, turns and releases Malo Gusto, makes a great run. Ball from Palmer inside the fullback, absolutely inch perfect. The delivery across the 6-yard box could have been better.
You do just wonder whether or not that a more aggressive central striker there tries to get in front of the central defender.
Yeah, maybe.
Rather than Enzo Fernandez coming in on the edge of the 6-yard box. João Pedro a little bit deeper, aimed in towards Cucurella, who's inside the penalty area as the corner was initially sent away by Bayern, but his header is wide of the left-hand upright.
Clever pass actually from Caicedo. Cucurella, as he does occasionally, getting himself in the box and just leaps and puts his head on that, but unfortunately can't get enough on it and keep it on target. But a couple of times already when Bayern have attacked and Chelsea have turned the ball over and quickly released their forward players, they look like they can get in behind Bayern. I mean, when I watched them, Sam, last year, Bayern, 2 or 3 times, as you rightly said, they do give you a chance. You will create situations against them. It's how ruthless you're going to be.
Well, it's 0-0. Chelsea have had arguably the best chances of the game so far, and Bayern Munich yet to really test Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal away to our right-hand side. Kimmich has it, though, in Bayern red, into Gnabry, who sends the ball out towards his right-hand side. It was aimed towards Elise. Wasn't too far away from him, but he couldn't keep it in. It goes out for a throw in the left full-back position for Chelsea.
Yeah, most of Bayern's forward players have been down their left. So far, Michael Elise hasn't really had a kick. Not really had the chance to get the ball in, drift in field and take Marco Correa on.
James dropping in to try and build from the back. Played by Tosin, a little short into Palmer, but his body swerve is so good to take him away from Diaz and then clip it over the top, but Conrad Lima read that, managed to deal with it. Kimmich keeps it moving around enough to allow Upamecano to send it wide out to the right, and Elise. Cucurella, well, apparently handballed it, just trying to get something on it, I think.
Yeah, he gets very tight to Elise, as he does. It's what he likes to do, Marc Cucurella. He does like to get in close. Elise kicks it against his hand. He's got no chance of getting out of the way of that. Elise put his hand in the air and stopped, and the referee bought it.
I'm not entirely sure that he was using his arms to make his body unnaturally bigger.
I mean, it's not handball, basically, Sam, but it's the sort of decision a referee outside of the 18-yard box will give. But it gives Joshua Kimmich and Michael Elise the chance to come up with something. All the big guys have come forward. This is going to come swinging in around that penalty spot area.
Well, Kimmich, who has got a lot of Champions League assists to his name, will be looking for Harry Kane, who's got a lot of Champions League goals to his name. Just lining up in the middle of the penalty area. Chelsea's line is just ahead of the penalty spot. Tar is up from the back. Stanisic is in there as well. Aaron Danks, the assistant coach of Bayern, is just trying to orchestrate things. It's touched into Elise, who's allowed to wander closer, then clip it to the far post. Gnabry coming in underneath it, but it's too heavy and he ran out of room. And the idea might have been okay, but the execution wasn't great.
Yeah, actually, Kimmich just touched that to Elise to get the free kick going. And the Chelsea boys held the edge of the area very well. Probably played about, what, 5 of them, 6 of them?
6, offside. I think it was, yeah. In the end, it was a little bit wasteful from Bayern Munich. Chelsea have it back again on the edge of their own 6-yard box. They take a quick goal kick. You're listening to Talksport, and it's Bayern Munich 0, Chelsea 0 in the Champions League. Live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Upamecano deep inside his own half for Bayern Munich, looking to try and find the forward run of Konrad Laimer. Marc Cucurella is across to guide it back to his goalkeeper edge of the area, and it's fired by Sanchez, flicked by Gusto, and somehow it's made a good pass into Palmer. Palmer gets it back to James. Chelsea in possession, looking to come forward again. Cucurella, who doesn't mind being the pantomime villain. In fact, actually, the worst thing you can do to Cucurella is give him attention, because he thrives off it. Lovely ball by James, looking for Malo Gusto. The idea was certainly right. It might just have been a little bit too big. Yeah,
and again, that run from Malo Gusto is a clever one. It was actually Luis Diaz who was tracking him, but was 15 yards behind him. Had the pass, the big switch to the right fullback been a little more accurate, he'd have been in there.
Well, Enzo Maresca has got a little bit of latitude, having arguably over-delivered so far in his tenure at Chelsea. Performances at the beginning of the season just suggest that they weren't going to give Arsenal and Liverpool too many sleepless nights, but they might test Bayern Munich here this evening. They started relatively brightly, and these two look evenly matched.
No, they certainly do, yeah. Just coming up to 17 minutes on the clock. And both teams have had a reasonable amount of possession.
Good ball into João Pedro, and Jonathan Tah a little bit too eager to try and win it from the wrong side, gives away a free kick on the edge of the centre circle. It was a beautiful wrapped ball in by Tosin Adarabioyo, who broke the lines, got it straight up to João Pedro, and he was challenged from behind, free kick given, and Vincent Kompany's complaining about it, but I don't think there was many doubts about that.
Well, I didn't see an awful lot in that, Sam, I'll be honest with you. Not a tremendous amount. Again, I thought João Pedro went down a little easily, but he was able to convince the referee. Chelsea have it.
Free kick given, and Caicedo's guided it back towards Chalobah, and it's back to the left and Cucurella. Cucurella is just short of the halfway line, then clips it forward into the inside left channel. João Pedro is on the hunt. He's offside though as he darts into that area, and the offside flag goes up very quickly. It's another free kick to Bayern Munich. Yeah,
what he naturally does a lot of, João Pedro, he's playing with his back to goal a lot. He's just that kind of number 9, 1.5, that sort of wants to link, wants to drop in, wants to combine with people rather than always waiting on the half turn looking to stretch. So again, he's just got to time those runs a fraction better.
Haven't seen much of Harry Kane so far, but here is Luis Diaz down the left-hand side, looking to canter to the edge of the area, then sends it back to Kane, little step over, gives it to Gnabry, a chance to shoot. It's blocked by Tosin. It's good defending by Chelsea, who all sort of funneled back onto the edge of their own penalty area. Caicedo has now given away what he thinks is a soft foul on Joshua Kimmich, and it's going to be a free kick 10 yards back from the edge of the penalty area for Bayern.
I think it is a soft foul. I think they were playing too tight and too close there, Bayern. I think Moises Caicedo makes a really strong challenge there on Kimmich. He hits the floor, throws his arms up in the air, and again the referee looks like he's going for every one of these so far, Sam. He does.
Well, he's paying attention to detail. He's just told Cole Palmer that he's got a bogey coming out of his nose and he should wipe it, which Palmer has very quickly wiped away and thanked him for the information. So he's an observant fella, is the referee.
Cole Palmer's wiping his nose as we speak.
Kimmich to take the free kick. It's a good 30 yards from goal. It's played wide. Oh, he's hit it against the referee. He's hit it against the referee, and Cole Palmer is saying, well, you didn't move, he hit it against you. Yeah. So why does he get to do it again? I think it goes to an uncontested drop ball, doesn't it? It does. And yes. Kimmich then gets it, and the free kick's wasted a little bit, but they've sent it wide towards the right, taken on by Elise, who chops past one defender, it comes off Chalobah and into the net. Well, the cross came in from the right-hand side from Elise. It bounced through a crowd of Chelsea players. I think it hit Chalobah last and scuttled into the goal. Upamecano is claiming it. But there was certainly confusion inside the 6-yard box, and Enzo Maresca is furious because he doesn't think that restart should have happened.
I totally agree. When the referee dropped the ball, an uncontested drop ball, the Chelsea player wasn't close enough. I think it was Cole Palmer. I think he was 3 or 4 yards away because they weren't quite sure about what the referee had done. By that time, the ball's gone out to Elise. He's gone past Malagusto far too easily. Fired it across the 6-yard box, and it looks like it's hit Chalobah and gone rocketing into the back of the net. But I don't think the referee did Chelsea any favours there. He dropped that ball when there was no Chelsea player standing over it.
Well, it is supposed to be an uncontested drop ball.
How far away are you supposed to be from that?
But also the other point is that really should that have been the result, bearing in mind that the free kick was taken from a standing start, and basically Kimmich has just hit it against the referee.
Hit it against the referee, was 10 yards away. What you're saying, should have been just the free kick retaken?
I think he either should have retaken the free kick, or he should have said play on, because they had the ball back.
And Chelsea had actually pinched the ball back, you're right. But I thought it seemed a little bit unfair. I hear what you're saying about uncontested, but you still want to have someone in front of the ball that's sort of half there, ready to block, and certainly make Kimmich go backwards or square. In the end, he pinged it right out to Michael Elise, and he managed to set up Malagusto very well, fired it across the 6-yard box, and it's gone in off Chalobah.
It's a great cross from Michael Elise, but should it have been able to get to that point? That will be the question a little bit later on with Jermaine Pennant and Rory Jennings on Talksport when they open the lines for the Sports Bar. 03717 223344. Chalobah with an own goal after 20 minutes, and Chelsea are behind after really Bayern Munich haven't offered much in attack, and Chelsea have had the best chances to take the lead in the game.
Yeah, that's the first real threat we've seen off Bayern from on the right side. And Elise, he did worryingly skipped past Malagusto a little too easily for me there.
I think by the letter of the law, the referee has done the right thing. But in the spirit of the law, I think when you're in that situation, that the idea is if you're in open play and it hits the referee, you stop the game and you give it back to the team that had it and say, start again, I shouldn't have been in the way. But if you've got a dead ball situation, the referee's a fixed point on the field.
Yep.
You've made a choice to play that ball in his direction. And I think that's why Enzo Maresca is furious. Here's Kimmich getting away down the right, getting to the edge of the area. For the byline now, he tries to get the ball back, but he was held off by a combination of Neto and Caicedo, and it's gone behind and away for a goal kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, Joshua Kimmich there actually gets into a really good area. Brilliant piece of work from Michael Elise to release him down the right side. He actually skipped away from Enzo, but laboured, took too long, and clipped the ball straight behind the goal for a goal kick.
Was a bit of tidy skill from Michael Elise.
I mentioned at the start of the game, Sam, going behind here now and making sure that you don't panic and that you stay strong and it doesn't disrupt the plan, and that everybody just all of a sudden picks it up again. What you can't do is start feeling sorry for yourself. I think they are a little hard done by with the way that goal was the way it come about. I really do, but they've got to make sure now that they very quickly refocus, switch on, and just keep playing.
Well, actually it goes deeper than what we've already discussed, because it's Bayern Munich 1, Chelsea 0. Bayern scoring with their first proper attack of the game. Elise's ball into the centre, but it came about after an uncontested drop ball was given. But that resulted from a free kick which was taken, hit against the referee, which you don't believe should have been a free kick in the first place. It was a soft free kick to start with. It was a
soft free kick, very soft. Caicedo, I thought, made a great challenge.
Here is Luis Diaz coming forward for Bayern Munich. A little handoff towards the edge of the area, taken on by Stanisic, and then Kimmich sends it back to Pavlovic. He comes infield and finds Upamecano. Upamecano down the right onto Elise. Elise faces up Cucurella, then tries to flip it into an open penalty area. He's found Conrad Lima. Fernandes comes across, shepherds the ball behind it, goes out for a goal kick away to our right. 25 gone. It's getting spicy out there. This is Talksport. It's brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football.
Yeah, Bayern enjoying their best spell of the game so far. Playing predominantly now in Chelsea territory.
Oh, it's given away by Chelsea. And then Kane, is he brought down inside the penalty area? The referee says something. He stopped and he's given the penalty.
Yeah.
He's given a penalty because Harry Kane has been dragged to ground. A reverse ball by Lima, bumped on from the right by Elise into the path of Kane. He was dragged down by Caicedo. It's going to be a penalty. He took his time. He consulted with his assistant and he's pointed to the spot.
He is, yeah. He certainly took his time. Now, we've only had one look at it. The ball went into Harry Kane. He got his body in, protected it right on the edge of the box, turned into the box as customary Harry Kane, about to get his shot away. Let's have another look. It is Caicedo. Looks like he gets a foot on the top of the ball. Right foot. Oof, he gets a fraction on it, but it might not be deemed to be enough. Harry Kane obviously trying to protect the space, protect the ability to get his shot away. Caicedo wrapping a long outstretched right leg around him, gets the merest of glances on the top of the ball, but I don't think they're going to overrule this, Sam.
Well, the VAR will look at it and look for a clear error. No, I don't think there is a clear error there.
No.
He will suggest that there was no evidence to overturn the on-field decision. We go with the referee's call. That's despite Sanchez protesting and the thoughts of Enzo Maresca, who's just sat there with his arms aside his body, his palms facing upwards, thinking, what on earth is going on here? Two decisions have gone against Chelsea, and Kane has the chance to make it 2-0. He's taken 12 Champions League penalties in his career. He's scored 11 of them. What happens next? It's Harry Kane against Chelsea. His 23rd game against them. He's scored 8 times before. He takes a sharp intake of breath and then right-footed rifles it into the corner. Sanchez goes to his right. The ball arrows into his left. And Bayern Munich take a 2-0 lead in controversial circumstances in the Allianz Arena.
Yeah. Don't think any of us fancied Harry Kane to miss. I certainly didn't. And it was a really cool, firm slot with his right foot along the floor to Robert Sanchez's left. And the big goalie dived right. So, as I mentioned, Chelsea going 1 down, and now very quickly it's 2. And this is what happens against the best in the Champions League. Games can get away from you very, very quickly.
Now, Chelsea were playing in the tertiary competition last season. They're finding out just how hot it can be when you return to the top table.
Build-up again to that second goal, Sam. The build-up to the ball into Harry Kane. Not quite sure what happened, but it seemed
Elise flicked it in from the right side.
Was it Elise that did that? Look, Chelsea again giving the ball away 30 yards from goal.
Elise is away, stumbles, but then manages to regain possession. Chelsea a little bit untidy. Caicedo wins it back, sends Cole Palmer away. There's a collision off the ball. The referee is allowing play on. Palmer is striding up to the edge of the area, gets it back, and arrows it into the top corner. Gusto gives it back to cold-hearted Cole Palmer, who ice-cold manages to come up with a finish that leaves Bayern Munich frozen. Enzo Maresca goes ballistic on the halfway line. He thinks there should be a sending off in the build-up to the goal. Chelsea think they've got back into the game. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1.
It's a brilliant goal. Elise is almost up on the edge of Chelsea's 18-yard box. Caicedo does great to wrestle it off him and then releases Cole Palmer in his own half when he picks it up, and he travels 50, 60 yards. The red shirts back off. A little give and go with Malo Gusto, and then a big side foot right into the roof of the net from about the penalty spot. Manuel Neuer's got no chance. He's flapping. He's absolutely nowhere near it. Stunning goal for Chelsea, and they're right back in it.
It's a terrific finish from Cole Palmer, and he had such a major hand in it, driving the ball forward, laying it off to Gusto, getting it back and slamming it home. And there was a yellow card for Enzo Maresca, who's not happy because he thinks that there was something in the throat of João Pedro in the build-up.
Yes, I think it was Jonathan Tah that was very closely marking João Pedro right on the halfway line. And as Caicedo released Cole Palmer, we saw Jonathan Tah clatter into João Pedro. Now, whether it was an elbow, whether it was just a body check, whether he grabbed him, no idea. I've only seen that one angle of it. And then, of course, Cole Palmer strolled forward and managed to knock it into the top of the goal. But the referee is actually showing a yellow card, Sam, to Jonathan Tah there. So clearly there'd been more than just a coming together.
Well, he's made the decision. He's given him a yellow card, as you say. But we can hear Enzo Maresca. You can hear him bleeding through our effects mic down at pitch side. He's absolutely furious, and he is communicating in Spanish to the fourth official, suggesting that should have been a red card for Jonathan Tah.
Wow, it's all happening in the Allianz. It really is. 2-1 Bayern. We're right on the half-an-hour mark, but the game really has come to life now. It was a reasonably respectful first 10 minutes from both teams. Now we're at full throttle.
It's brilliant, absolutely superb, and this is why we love the Champions League. It's full throttle, high energy, non-stop action. We're getting a replay of the tussle between the two now, and it did look as if there was a little uppercut from Jonathan Tah on João Pedro.
I think João Pedro, in fairness, had hold of Jonathan Tah's shirt as he received the ball, as all strikers do. Whenever the ball comes into your feet and you've got a 6'4" defender breathing down your neck, you grab hold of something that you feel to protect your space. He grabbed his shirt, but Jonathan Tah looked like he delivered a little subtle left hook.
Well, I think in other circumstances, bearing in mind the standard that we see over the course of the last two nights, then that probably is a red card. He's a little bit fortunate to stay on the pitch here, Jonathan Tah, the summer signing.
I wonder if it hadn't been a goal. I wonder if Cole Palmer hadn't finished that.
Technically, there is a problem there, isn't there? Because really they should stop the game immediately to send him off. And
Correct.
if they'd done that, then you wouldn't have the goal. Because Chelsea were on such a run, they decided to play the advantage. So maybe they're sort of hampered by law in that regard. Here is Chalobah bringing the ball forward by Chelsea, up to the halfway line. 32 gone, a rip-roaring contest in the Allianz. 2-1 to Bayern Munich, live on Talksport 2. Here's Cole Palmer trying to weave his way between two defenders. Pavlovic manages to get it clear from inside the box and up to the halfway line. Cucurella's being chased by Elise, gets pushed in the back by Elise, and he's going to be the latest, is he, to go into the referee's notebook.
Should be a yellow card, that. That's just a blatant shove in the back of Marc Cucurella. That's a yellow card. That should be a yellow card. He's right in front of the linesman, who, to be fair to him, flags, but we don't see a card.
I'm sure Enzo Maresca had more than his fair share to say about the officiating in the opening half an hour. Good turn by João Pedro to get away from Kimmich. He plays the ball forward, runs into Elise, who stops him. Referee gives a free kick. And Elise still doesn't go in the referee's notebook. And again, that was quite a cynical stop from Elise, who just stood in the path of João Pedro to stop him from running.
He's saying, I just stood my ground and João Pedro ran into me. But like you, Sam, I think Chelsea forward there have done really well. Turned out of a tight situation, knocked it past Elise on the halfway line. Unfortunately got stopped.
What a ball by Caicedo, down to the left with the outside of his right boot, into Neto. Neto scurries into the penalty area. He's got four at the back post. He chops back on his right foot, gives it to Caicedo again, who tried to unleash one of those firecrackers that he's become famous for, but he was off balance as he hit it from the edge of the box, about 5 yards back, and he skewed it into the stand away to our left-hand side. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, we saw Caicedo score a belter, didn't we, against Brentford?
Oh, what a goal.
What a goal that was, a beautiful strike. That one there, he's got to try and wrap his foot around it. And unfortunately, he certainly didn't do that, and he just skied it over the top. But Chelsea right back in the thick of the game now, right back amongst it. And vital that they scored when they did. I don't think they deserved to be 2 down, but that's where they found themselves. To their credit, they dusted themselves down and responded brilliantly.
Yeah, they've shown great character to get straight back into the game. Ajax 0 into Milan 0 is the latest in the league phase of the Champions League tonight. Liverpool 2-0 up early on against Atletico. Goals from Robertson and Salah. The accredited scorers now. It was a Pablo Barrios own goal earlier on. Marquinhos has put PSG in front. They lead by a goal to 0. They've just hit the half-hour mark in Paris tonight. And Nottingham Forest leads Swansea away from home in the League Cup. Ange Postecoglou's team. Igor Jesus has scored the first goal of the Ange Postecoglou era at Nottingham Forest. Here it's 2-1 to Bayern Munich, live on Talksport 2. Here is Reece James in the centre of midfield for Chelsea. A little bump ball into Fernandes and then worked wide onto Neto, but he was stretching for it. Lima had come across and put his body in a good position, and it meant that the ball ran through to Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, what we have seen from Chelsea is that when they get good possession, when they beat that press, because Bayern really are squeezing and going after Chelsea in numbers, when they beat that, Chelsea look like they can carve out chances here.
It's getting a little bit niggly out there now.
It is actually. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Full-blooded, full throttle. Challenges flying in left, right and centre, and there's a little bit of animosity starting to brew as Palmer plays another good ball forward into Gusto, edge of the area, left-footed shot into the body of Upamecano, back out as far as Neto, who cracks one, but he's leaning backwards. He elevates it wide and high over the top of the crossbar, but Palmer is pulling the strings tonight.
He is. He's played probably more incisive passes than any other player on the field in the opening 35 minutes. Whenever Cole Palmer has got it, he's not dropped it off or just rolled it backwards or sideways. Every time, if there's ground in front of him that he can run into, he's travelled. And then when he gets there, when he gets 30, 40 yards from goal, he's always looking for something incisive, something in behind a fullback, in between fullback and centre-half, that makes life really difficult for defenders. He's been excellent, and what a wonderful goal.
Here's Upamecano taking the ball up towards the left-hand side, and he plays it into Michael Elise. Back it goes to Gnabry, who's dropped really deep to pick the ball up in the Bayern midfield. He runs to halfway and plays it wide towards the left, and it's collected by Stanisic, who's long and lean and moves up over halfway, pokes it into Harry Kane, who takes it out of the sky and beautifully turns it back out wide to Elise, who cuts in left-footed from the edge of the penalty area, runs into traffic, guides it back to Kimmich, back out to Elise again, far side the Bayern Munich right, attacking the Chelsea goal, away to our right-hand side, just keeping possession for a while, goes back to halfway, Upamecano, Kimmich keeping hold of it, but Chelsea in good positions out of possession, making sure their work with the ball is really neat and tidy and covering, and the pressing is good, and Palmer is playing his part. Ball goes up to halfway, and it's once again with Stanisic coming in from that left-hand side. Kane dropping deep, clipping it out to the right, and Elise with a little bit of room, pokes it in towards Lima. It's a lovely ball, and the finish is nearly just as equally good, but he steers it narrowly wide of the right-hand upright, Conrad Lima. What a ball that was from Elise.
Yeah, brilliant play from Michael Elise. I mentioned about Conrad Lima. He's not the most naturally gifted footballer, and I think the finish is an example of that. But I tell you what, in terms of running and galloping forward and running beyond Elise, getting into the box from that right-back position, he's great at that. And really and truly, wonderful pass from Elise. He's about 9 or 10 yards out, slightly on the angle, should have at least hit the target there. Well,
Conrad Lima has only ever scored one Champions League goal for Bayern. In fact, he's only ever scored one Champions League goal, and that was since December 2019. And he was very close to getting one there, putting Bayern 3-1 in front. And actually Chelsea's main priority is to make sure they don't concede the next goal in this game. Here's Palmer. If he can get it wide towards his left, there's lots of space for Malo Gusto. He's given it to Neto instead, who didn't really receive it and rush the pass.
Yeah, I think he might have been better off just hanging on to that there, Pedro Neto, and just recycling it. He tried to clip it back into the box, just couldn't get there.
Gnabry with a little bit of afters on Enzo Fernandez. Referee has allowed play on, and Elise's gone central. He's gone darting through the centre circle, played it out towards Diaz, a reverse pass into Pavliovic, who's gone down the side of the box. His clip cross into the centre is headed away by Tosin Adarabioyo, and then flicked on by João Pedro, but no one in blue to receive it. Comes back via Stanisic into Kimmich, and then Gnabry looking for Diaz at the far post, and it's hooked away by Gusto. Now, once again, they're asking for a foul on Luis Diaz. Was there contact between Gusto and Diaz?
I'm not sure how much contact Malo Gusto actually gets on the ball here. And I think Luis Diaz, anyway, is fractionally offside. Did he get any contact on that? I couldn't quite see from that angle again there, Sam, but it was close. But I think Luis Diaz may have been marginally offside anyway, had Malo Gusto have caught him.
Which would have been a huge relief to Chelsea.
Yeah.
2-1 the score. Talksport 2 on a Wednesday night, the first week of the Champions League. And remember, we're bringing you all of the action from the Champions League this season. Bayern Munich 2, Chelsea 1 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car here for it. Here is Kane inside the penalty area, down the right side, looking to get across. Tosin Adarabioyo blocks it and sends it out for a corner.
Clever ball there for Michael Olise. He's hugging that right touchline for Bayern, about 40 yards out. Gets the ball to his feet and he waits for all the blue shirts to come towards him, then clips it into the box for a run from Harry Kane. He was just trying to get that strike away before it was blocked out for another Bayern corner.
5 minutes before half-time. It's been a cracking first 45 minutes of football. Just taking a little breather. And the Bayern players just come over for a bit of a discussion about how they're going to deliver this corner kick. Pavlovic standing right next to Robert Sanchez in the centre of the goal. Kane is in there, Stanisic too. Tars come up from the back. Olise is going to take the corner, left-footed, a short one into Gnabry, then to the edge of the area where Kimmich is waiting. He sets it, crosses it poorly. James heads it away. He was the first man. Tied it up by Neuer, 10 yards inside the Chelsea half.
Yeah.
Back they come again. Down towards the Bayern left this time, and Stanisic fighting with Malagusto. He didn't get the last touch on that, and it's going to be a Bayern corner.
Yeah, Luis Diaz doing really well there. Malagusto gets his head on that deep cross, heads it up in the air. Luis Diaz just protects it, allows it to roll out for another Bayern corner, this time off their left side.
Kane again, looking to cause problems. Stanisic and Pavlovic surrounding the goalkeeper. James, Chalobah, all waiting.
Would you have Malagusto picking up Harry Kane?
I probably wouldn't,
sure.
no. That doesn't sound like my first choice.
That's what's happening.
Chelsea being... looks like they're going a little bit zonal there with the front post, and it goes into that area and Sanchez comes out, pushes it away. It's headed back towards goal by Olise, who volleys it into the ground, and it bobbles beyond the far post, and it goes out for another goal kick to Chelsea.
Yep. The best two players on the field are the two left-footers, Cole Palmer and Michael Olise. They are the most productive for their respective teams. Olise this time left foot strike on the volley under a little bit of pressure. Sanchez leaps to his left. It's always 3 or 4 yards wide. But he's, after that initial 10 minutes where he didn't really get involved that much, all of a sudden he's become pretty central to what Bayern are doing.
3 minutes to go before half-time. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1. And João Pedro accused of pulling the shirt of Jonathan Tah. I think João Pedro's got it in his mind now that he can wind up Jonathan Tah a little bit.
Doesn't need to wrestle him though, does he, every time the ball goes long? Just get your body in, stand there, just make yourself as big as you can. Just try and get your first touch on that ball and hang on to it.
Kimmich, deep inside his own territory, tries to send it out towards the right-hand side, which has been the most productive ground. It's won by Cucurella after a heavy touch, and then the turn and swirling pass from Fernandes is just over-ambitious. And he's passing, actually. The West Ham game I was at, the Fulham game I was at the other week was just a little bit off radar. Fernandes, I think he was one of Chelsea's better performers on Saturday night, but he hasn't had the perfect start to the season. Enzo Fernandez, he's played a lot of football, of course, over the summer with the Club World Cup.
Yeah, and he's in that position tonight, ahead of Reece James and Caicedo. So he can play a little bit free, but defensively without the ball, he's got to make sure he gets back and thickens that midfield up when Bayern have it.
Chalobah chases Diaz out to this near touchline. Again, Olise just manages to try and tease his way down the right, looks to get the crossing. Cucurella does well again and blocks it. It goes out for another corner to Bayern Munich. And there's 90 seconds now on the clock between now and the half-time whistle. And Vincent Kompany, I think, will be pleased with the way that his team have got themselves 2 goals to the good, but still know that they're very much in a game here. Here is the corner. And they'll be swung in by the left footer Olise, and it's a deep one which Sanchez came and fingered but didn't get hold of, and Gnabry will allow that to go out for another corner on the other side. It wasn't the most convincing stop.
No, it wasn't. Came out the goalkeeper to grab and kind of slipped through his fingers a little bit. Out for another corner which Gnabry looks like he's going to whip in under that bar.
Well, he does have his critics, doesn't he, Robert Sanchez? He was absolutely terrific in the Club World Cup final against PSG, and he can make some brilliant saves, but he has moments.
Yeah, it's decision-making with him. He has all the tools to be a very competent goalkeeper. It's just that making those right calls at the right time.
Here's the corner from the other side, which Kimmich will take. It's swelled to the back post, headed by Upamecano, back across the face of goal. The 6-yard box, it's headed clear by Tosin Adarabioyo, collected by Kimmich once again, then back into midfield where Lima recycles it, gives it to Gnabry. Gnabry then turns it round the corner to Kimmich. Kimmich out towards the left, and here's Luis Diaz, the former Liverpool winger, swinging the ball into the centre. Tari's unmarked, tries to put it back across the face of goal towards Kane. It's stopped by Chalobah, but I think the offside flag would have gone up anyway.
Yeah, again, Chelsea holding the edge of that 18-yard line very, very well. And the red shirts dart in there. It is actually Upamecano getting on the end of that ball in from Stanisic. He's 2 yards offside. So, look, at one point in the half, I worried a little bit for Chelsea, having gone 2 down. The first one, I think, was a little hard. They were hard done by. The second one was, again, slightly debatable, but they responded brilliantly. The finish from Cole Palmer, absolutely excellent.
2 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45. Kane holds it up, sends it back into midfield. The crossfield ball out to the left, and Luis Diaz is overhit. And Bayern waste possession. It goes out of play and away for a throw-in the right full-back area. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1, Talksport 2 in the Champions League. In the Allianz Arena in fine voice tonight for the return of Europe's Premier Cup competition. Here's Reece James building up inside his own penalty area. To the left of him is Tosin. That's a little bit untidy and goes straight to Upamecano. If you're going to play out from the back like that, and a ball that goes from the left side of your box into the middle of the pitch,
yeah,
you've got to get it right.
And also on Tosin's left foot, trying to play out there. Not sure about that.
Gnabry takes up the ball just in the number 10 position, runs to the edge of the D, is sent wide to the little live wire. Diaz once again back towards Stanisic, then Lima, then back wide towards the right angle of the penalty area on the near side, where Elise cuts in left-footed, puts it for the legs of Cucurella, takes a deflection and bobbles behind. It's going to be the last act of the first half, and it's a corner to Bayern Munich.
Good defending there. Chelsea, Bayern swept that ball from left to right. Michael Elise attacking the very corner of the 18-yard box on the right side. Steps in on his left foot as expected, and is confronted with 2 blue shirts.
Just get the feeling that Chelsea have got to get over the line to half-time here without conceding a third goal. Kane wrestling with Malagusto again as the corner comes in. This time, much better handling from Robert Sanchez. And the referee does blow the half-time whistle after a little bit of histrionics about what he was doing with his VAR, and that is the end of the first half. It was a intoxicating first 45 minutes, and Bayern Munich, who have made the perfect start to the season, want to continue that tonight against Chelsea. And Chelsea at one point looks as if they were going to be blown away. It was getting away from them when the 2 goals went in quick succession, first from Chalobah own goal and then a Harry Kane penalty, but they dragged themselves back into the match, Andy Townsend, with that fantastic Cole Palmer goal, and there still feels as if there's a lot more for them to play for.
Oh, without doubt, there's plenty in this game for them. A lot of the Chelsea players are talking to the officials as they leave the field for half-time. Reece James had a quiet word with the referee. Robert Sanchez is likewise. I think they just feel they were caught a little bit cold and on their heels a little unfairly for that first goal. That's what they'll be really complaining about. The penalty, again, Moises Caicedo is trying to get the ball, trying to put the foot on the ball from the wrong side, wrapping his right leg around Harry Kane in the box. He gets a tiny little bit of the ball, but nothing substantial. Harry Kane goes down under the pressure from the challenge, and the referee looked like he actually ran away from the situation for a couple of seconds before very quickly he stopped in his tracks, pointed to the spot.
And that was 2-0, and Chelsea then got their goal from Cole Palmer, which was really well worked. There was a little bit of a collision on halfway in the build-up to that Chelsea goal, which on another day might have seen Jonathan Tah sent off and Bayern Munich down to 10 men. But there's a lot of controversy about the first goal and the way that it came about, because it was a soft free kick to start with, then a drop ball after Kimmich had played it against the referee, and Chelsea found themselves rather aggrieved by that, but they've responded well, dealt with it well, and despite the fact that they've only managed the 1 shot on target, they're within 1 of Bayern Munich, who lead at the break by 2 goals to 1. We'll run through the rest of the scores in the night's football in just a second. I will tell you that Marcos Llorente has scored for Atletico at Anfield. It's 2-1 in that game now over on Talksport 2. And remember, we've got more live football for you tomorrow night. Newcastle take on Barcelona. Natalie Sawyer brings you the full coverage from St James's Park as Jim Proudfoot and Troy Deeney bring you commentary of Newcastle against Barcelona. Manchester City against Napoli is live on Talksport 2 here with Ian Danta and the former England defender Mickey Gray. Friday night it's Middlesbrough against West Brom, and then Saturday I'll be with the former Liverpool midfielder and Everton coach Charlie Adam as we bring you the Merseyside derby, 12:30 kickoff from Anfield. Very much looking forward to that. You're listening to Talksport 2. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football, and at half-time Bayern lead Chelsea by 2-1.
Champions League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Hey, it's Matt. We need to talk. I'm at a different place in my life right now. You deserve to be with someone who knows what you're really worth. It's over. I'm selling you on CarWow.
With over 5,500 dealers on our site, breaking up with your car has never felt so good. Get a valuation today at carwow.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you seen the all-new iPhone 17 Pro? Designed from the inside out, it's the most powerful iPhone yet, with the ultimate Pro camera system. What's more, at Vodafone, you can get the new iPhone now and every year with Vodafone Exchange. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Credit check and terms apply. Trade in iPhone 17 series in good condition 12 months before phone plan ends and upgrade. Every year based on 24-month plan. See vodafone.co.uk/exchange.
The Monopoly game at McDonald's is back. Play today with the Philly cheese stack, so you can enjoy 2 beef patties, crispy grilled onions, and a melted cheddar cheese sauce. Go on, it's your go. From 11 a.m. until the 21st of October, participating restaurants, subject to availability, app may be required. 18 plus, UK, see mcdrules.co.uk.
Searching for a holiday? Here's an idea. Don't type cheap flights to wherever into your browser. You know you do it. Search Kayak instead. Let us do the finding for you. All the great flight deals from hundreds of travel sites, all in one place. Go on, do it! Do it! Listen to the waves. They're calling your name. Not literally, obviously, unless your name is... Kayak. Kayak! You're thinking about it, aren't you? Search Kayak and go see for yourself.
It's time to unlock cheaper electricity with E.ON Next. Our Next Smart Saver tariff gives you cheaper rates between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. every day. So however you spend your evenings, air frying, popping a wash on, kitchen discoing, or kicking back and TV binge watching, you could be doing it all for less. Visit eonnext.com/smartsaver to find out more. Next Smart Saver is a 12-month fixed-term tariff with lower off-peak and super off-peak unit rates versus our standard variable tariff. Smart meter required. T's and C's apply.
Where can you get the latest breaking sports news delivered with the laser-like accuracy of Michael Van Gogh? 1 hour and 80. And hear passionate opinions debated with the confident dexterity of Virgil van Dijk.
The Liverpool fans celebrate.
Answer on the radio show that's got the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast. Weekday mornings from 5 on Talksport with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
Saturday afternoon. Football. Live Championship football. On Talksport 2.
Oh, what about that?
Full commentary of Leicester City versus Coventry City.
What a goal.
Build up from noon, kick-off 12:30.
You can never write them off.
Saturday afternoon. Only on Talksport 2. Kick it. The passion, the pain, and the poetry of the beautiful game.
Overhead kick. Brilliant goal.
The Champions League live on Talksport 2.
Stand by for drama.
What a fantastic season this has been for Newcastle. Champions League football.
Hopefully a turning point in our history.
Newcastle thumping hit from Jacob Murphy.
In towards Joe Linton, up there with a header, and it's into the corner.
Turned away, Rafinha! Rifles in the rebound!
This is the stuff that these Newcastle fans would not have dreamed possible.
Manchester City will be in the Champions League next season.
We had a season, an off-season, but I think we've got as good a chance as anyone to win the Champions League.
As Erling Haaland goes through, and he scores!
Breaking news last 5 minutes, Kevin De Bruyne has joined Napoli.
Do you know you want to come here and perform well?
We have a great welcome to them because they deserve it. After the game, yeah. Of course, it's nice to kick him back.
I think with Pep Guardiola, you doubt them at your peril.
It's Talksport. You're listening to the Champions League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Don't forget, we bring you another double header of Champions League action across the Talksport network tomorrow. Newcastle against Barcelona over on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2, it's Manchester City against Napoli. Newcastle United preparing for their second time in the Champions League under Eddie Howe after playing in the competition 2 years ago. And he was asked if that experience will help his side this time around.
Everything that goes into a Champions League game, it is different from the Premier League. The build-up's different, the feel's different. So I think having done that before can certainly help us again. I think the squad is arguably stronger. I don't know. You could always make a debate either way. Of course, the squad has changed from 2 years ago, so it's a different squad. And I think I back the quality that we have. Certainly the tough games. It's a tough looking fixture list for us, and I think the early games are really important because they set the foundation and they set the tone. That's why we're really focusing on our performance and trying to deliver a good one.
Yeah, everyone's been talking today in the build-up to this game about the anticipation ahead of going into the match, and Newcastle midfielder Bruno Guimaraes is looking forward to coming up against a side that he idolised as a young kid.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Never faced Barcelona before. It's one of the team that I watched when I was young, and was the player that made me feel in love with football was Ronaldinho. So I always watch Barcelona's play. And after Iniesta, Xavi, Messi, and nice to see another Brazilian shine there again, Rafinha. So I think we're very excited. I can't wait to get tomorrow and play this game.
Yeah, what a game that is going to be, and what an atmosphere at St James's Park. Bruno Guimaraes will captain the team. Newcastle against Barcelona live on Talksport. Manchester City coming up against a familiar face. Kevin De Bruyne returning to the Etihad with his new side Napoli. Erling Haaland will be looking to add to his goal tally. And ahead of the game, the City boss Pep Guardiola has been discussing his leadership qualities after stepping up to be one of the vice-captains this season.
Yeah, it's a question of time. It's normal when you arrive in the first season. So always expecting. He came in a team like he was winning a lot, except the Champions League. He helped us to bring that incredible trophy for us, the competition that we play for 11, 12, 30 years in a row. Like, it's an honor to be here. Like last season at the end, we finished the last 50, 20 games being the best team in the Premier League and winning, qualify, but always is tough. And of course, it's a question of maturity. The time is a little bit older. Even he's young, and of course he came. He's one of the captains. He came for many years. He signed a contract for many years to be here, and that's why a natural way. But normally your figure in the locker room is been winning on the pitch, and of course it happened natural way.
And looking forward to that game tomorrow at the Etihad Stadium. It's live on Talksport 2, 7:45. We're on air. Talksport at the same time, Newcastle against Barcelona. Tonight, over on Talksport, it's Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1. Robertson and Salah with the goals. Marcus Llorente just before half-time. PSG 2-0 up against Atalanta. Kvaratskhelia scoring just 6 minutes before the break to add to Marquinhos' opener inside the first 3 minutes. It's 2-0 to PSG, the current reigning champions of the Champions League. Ajax 0, Inter Milan 1. Marcus Thuram just before half-time. Putting Inter Milan in front in Amsterdam. Earlier on today, Slavia Prague drew 2-2 with Bodo Glimt, and Olympiacos 0-0 with Paphos, who had Bruno Felipe sent off after just 25 minutes. Good start for Ange Postecoglou in the Carabao Cup. Igor Jesus has scored twice in the first half. They lead Swansea away from home in the ties. The only tie of the night in the third round of the competition. A big second half to come here on Talksport 2. Chelsea looking to come back from 2-1 down against Bayern Munich. They've sent it wide towards the right, taken on by Elise, who chops past one defender, it comes off, Chalobah and into the net. But there was certainly confusion inside the 6-yard box, and Enzo Maresca is furious because he doesn't think that restart should have happened.
But I don't think the referee did Chelsea any favours there. He dropped that ball when there was no Chelsea player standing over it.
Oh, it's given away by Chelsea. And then Kane, as he brought down inside the penalty area, he stops and he's given the penalty. What happens next? It's Harry Kane against Chelsea. He takes a sharp intake of breath and then right-footed rifles it into the corner, and Bayern Munich take a 2-0 lead in controversial circumstances.
Don't think any of us fancied Harry Kane to miss.
Palmer is striding up to the edge of the area, gets it back, and arrows it into the top corner. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1.
Stunning goal for Chelsea, and they're right back in it.
Talksport 2 on a Wednesday night, and that is the state of play as we go into the second half in the Allianz Arena. Two sets of players just preparing to come back out for the start of the second half. Nicholas Jackson and Philip Jorgensen just enjoying a little bit of friendly banter as Jackson takes his place on the bench in the second half. Be interesting to see if we see him tonight, bearing in mind the odd circumstances he finds himself in. He actually still belongs to Chelsea, but he said he's never going back, or his agent made sure that everyone knows that that's the case.
That might not be his shout. Look, he might not go back to Chelsea. I'm not sure how long he'll be here in Munich, to be perfectly honest with you. But look, he'd be itching to get on and get out there. And of course he'd like to make his mark in a game like this, of that there is no doubt. But the game is finely balanced at the moment. I can see Chelsea creating moments in that transition. I can see them interrupting Bayern's attacking play, releasing particularly Cole Palmer. Whenever they release him on the halfway line, he looks like he's got the touch, the control and the guile and the ability to really make something happen. But what Chelsea have got to do is they've just got to switch on a little bit quicker. A couple of times when they've lost the ball, particularly with that uncontested drop ball, I thought was a little harsh, I did. And then even the penalty, the ball kind of ricocheted from Elise into Harry Kane. Great swivel on the edge of the box, but where were the Chelsea players? Not quite there. Caicedo, wrong side, trying to get a big foot on the ball and ends up bringing Harry Kane down. So just in those key moments, Chelsea have to be a little brighter, a little sharper, a little quicker to the party.
Well, Harry Kane scored in that first half. It means that he's now been involved in 52 Champions League goals, level as Englishman with the highest number of goal involvements in this competition, with David Beckham, which is quite good company to be in.
Very good. It's a pretty illustrious company to be in, isn't it? But
he loves breaking a record, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does indeed. He really does. But I'm really looking forward to this second period. Players are just starting to emerge from the tunnel. This is a big 45. We spoke about the sort of test, the examination that Chelsea were getting. Yes, they are getting one, but they're also giving a fair bit too.
Well, since they last were in the Champions League, Chelsea won the Conference League, the FIFA Club World Cup, and that performance in the final, so ruthless in their thumping of PSG, I think gives them the confidence that they can perform against anyone. They certainly gave Jonathan Tah a tough time in that first 45 minutes, so much so that Vincent Kompany has decided to lurch to his bench and bring on Min Jae Kim.
Yeah, he's brought him on. I mean, he was on that yellow card, wasn't he, Jonathan Tah? So again, Vincent Kompany being very proactive, as we see a lot of the coaches nowadays. We saw obviously with Kirkesh, with Arne Slot at the weekend, you know, not taking any chances, not allowing anything to. It's funny because, you know, again, a long time ago, I know, but back in my day, you know, if you get a yellow card, you might look across and see your manager saying, calm down, be careful, but they wouldn't want to make the switch straight away. But I think that's a good indicator, Sam, of how tight this game is.
Only started once this season, Min Jae Kim, who started the game in the German Cup earlier in August. Not sure he's lived up to the €58 million price tag. He missed the Club World Cup because of an Achilles issue, but he's back in the team now for the second half of this game between Bayern Munich and Chelsea. Live on Talksport 2. Bayern Munich in red shirts, red shorts with thick white trim, attacking the goal away to our left. Chelsea in blue, attacking the goal away to our right. They've made no changes at half-time, and it's that same system that they started the Club World Cup final with. Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Tosin and Cucurella. James and Caicedo in midfield with Enzo Fernandez further on. Palmer to the right, Neto to the left, João Pedro to the centre, and Palmer in particular had a very good first half, Andy Townsend.
Yes, he did. Very good. Second half underway, the ball up to João Pedro already. Chelsea on the front foot.
And it's with James in midfield, just over the halfway line. Caicedo keeping possession, plays it square, and then it's on to the right, where it's collected by Chalobah. Chalobah goes all the way back to halfway. Bayern Munich with Neuer in goal, Lima, Upamecano, Min-Jae Kim and Stanisic, the back four now. And it's Kimmich and Pavlovic and Elise, Gnabry and Diaz behind Harry Kane in attack. Caicedo swinging the ball forward. Gusto getting beyond the defender, but couldn't take it down and put himself in an advanced position. I think the offside flag is up against him anyway.
Yeah.
But his rampaging runs from right fullback have caused a problem.
Certainly have. I mean, Luis Diaz there, he's only a yard offside, you know, there. Malo Gusto, and Luis Diaz didn't have a clue where the right back had gone. He really didn't. I mean, no wide winger, no wide player wants to be level with his own defenders as the ball is being switched. It's not a comfortable position for an attack-minded player.
Well, Bayern Munich have got a really good recent record against teams from England in this competition. They've only lost one of their last 11 home games against English sides in the Champions League. That defeat coming to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool back in March 2019. Bayern have beaten 5 different English sides during that time. Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham. And they will look to continue that trend tonight. They lead by 2-1, and Kimmich has it in the centre of midfield for Bayern Munich. Back to Upamecano, who sends it down the right for Elise. Line-breaking pass, which is received by the Frenchman, given into Lima, and then he goes backwards rather than forwards, forced backwards by Cucurella, all the way to Upamecano, who finds his goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer. Neuer to Pavlovic, who's just wandered into the left full-back position, clipped down the line, looking for the run of Stanisic, who's beaten in the air by Chalobah. Referee's allowed play on. He's holding his knee, but the ball's played centrally in towards Luis Diaz. That's cut out by Caicedo. And then the referee stops the game for treatment, eventually, to Stanisic on this near side. Even though Caicedo was saying, play on, keep the tempo high.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Stanisic just comes off second best. He wants a bit of treatment. But Trevor Chalobah it was who made a really good defensive header. Got his forehead on the ball as well as clattering into Pavlovic a little bit there, but certainly no intent at all. I would like to see if Chelsea if they can Reece James and Caicedo just exert a little bit more influence on the game, rather than Chelsea, and they have looked really dangerous whenever they turn the ball over in that transition. Can Chelsea have the ball and find Palmer and find Neto and get those guys in situations that will favour them? They haven't done that an awful lot. When they've, as I said, when they broke quickly, they've looked really, really dangerous, Chelsea. But can they now have a little bit more influence with the ball?
It's been more of a sort of process of disrupting, turning over and then looking to fire.
And then breaking quickly,
as opposed to trying to dictate the ball and manipulate Bayern Munich and try and carve open the Bayern back line. James has pinched it on halfway, taken it off Gnabry, and then turned it back into Chalobah, into James again. And he guides it all the way back to Chalobah once more, and then João Pedro just a little bit too loose.
Yeah, wasn't quite aware, was he there?
Min-Jae Kim robbed him, and then Gusto came back and took it off the toes of Luis Diaz, and that's the kind of endeavour that Chelsea are going to need if they're going to get back into this game. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Talksport 2. Ball sent long for Malo Gusto to chase, and he will chase it, even though it looks as a forlorn task.
Looks like Stanisic, I think, has gone. Has it? Stanisic
has gone down again. After the clattering that he got on the near touchline, I think they're going to have to make a change now, Bayern Munich. 5 minutes into the second half. Vincent Kompany looking a little bit concerned.
Vincent Kompany just telling his right back, stay down on the floor, don't get back up. And they're just going to try and assess him. But I'll tell you what it is, it's actually a bit of a dead leg. Chalobah, when he's only got eyes for the ball, it's not Chalobah's fault at all, but point of his knee catches Stanisic a little bit in the belly of his thigh, and they are sore, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and he can't continue because he had to pull up lame as the ball was played over his head just now, and they can't afford that, especially with Malo Gusto on the charge down on that left-hand side. So Sacha Boey is about to come on for Bayern Munich. to replace Stanisic. I wonder if Conrad Laimer will switch sides actually, and Bowie will go and play at right back, where he often does. Very powerful, and he started one Champions League game last season. Frenchman. It's the end of the night for Stanisic.
Yeah, who's worked hard certainly without doing anything really of any note attack-wise. But we'll see how quick he can pick up the pace of the game, and interested to see, Sam, exactly which side he's going to operate from.
Yeah, it's Laimer has come out to the left-hand side, as we thought it might be. Bowie has gone out to the right. Laimer tosses it in from this near touchline, guides it back to Min-jae Kim. Rather awkward ball forward. It's a little bit awry and into the touch on this near touchline, and it's away for a Chelsea throw. Down the right they'll go. Cole Palmer is leaving that now to Malagusto, gives it to Palmer, back to Malagusto, infield it goes to James, back to Chalobah. They're inside Bayern territory here, but they've gone backwards all the way to halfway in Cucurella, then fizzed forward towards João Pedro, tucks it round the corner brilliantly, goes beyond Upamecano, releases Neto, down the left-hand side, a little trick to set it back to the edge of the area, square to James, bit of space to hit it, right-footed, no power in it, and it trickles into the arms of Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, I just think the pass there, brilliant football from Chelsea, that lovely work from João Pedro when he dropped off the front, 40 yards from goal. Again, that clever little ball inside the Bayern fullbacks. That's been one that Chelsea have used to really good effect tonight. Cole Palmer in the first half, João Pedro there. But then in the end, when the ball came into João Pedro and he's looking for help, he rolls it to Reece James, but he had to have a touch. He wanted that in front of him so as he could just walk onto it and belt it.
Nuno Mendes has scored a third for PSG, who are setting an early marker down against Atalanta. 3-0 the score in Paris tonight.
I think they're the team to beat you.
Just a bit.
Yeah. They're a proper side, they really are.
Here's Neto down the left-hand side, trying to get to the byline. Bowie trying to stick with him. Does that. Strong and powerful. Robs him of the ball. Turns it back to Upamecano. Clears from the right full-back area. And Tosin brings it down on halfway. 53 gone, Bayern 2, Chelsea 1. Talksport 2 on a Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, Newcastle, Barcelona on 1. And we've got coverage of Manchester City and Napoli to bring you on Talksport 2. The Merseyside derby Saturday is going to be a spicy affair. Looking forward to that. And remember, on Sunday we're back round the grounds in Game Day Live, 1:30 to 6:30 every Sunday. Crookie, Perry and I will bring you all the action. Here's Malagusto coming off the right flank and into the centre, dispossessed by Upamecano. Bayern have it back again, just short of the halfway line. Elise looking to release Kane, but Chalobah will guide that back to his goalkeeper.
It's been a good start to the second period for Chelsea. They've had most of the ball. It's Bayern now who are kind of just sitting in, digging in, staying solid and playing on that turnover a little bit more.
He's having more influence in the game as well. Gusto coming in off the right flank. He's played the ball out wide towards Palmer now. He cuts in, left-footed, bobbles into the box, not cleared perfectly by Upamecano, who's now under pressure from Palmer again. And when he hooks it out towards the left, it's met by Cucurella. Cucurella down into the path of Neto. Neto tries a little trick and a turn. Bowie goes across and stabs it infield. Collected now by Kimmich. And then they wander over on the far side up to Bowie. Bowie leaves it, gives it to Elise. His hair shaved down the sides and flowing behind his head as he travels backwards into the path of Kim. Kim then fires it forward. Won by Caicedo. Chelsea have it back on halfway. And Bayern Munich struggling to fashion an attack at the start of the second half. Forward it goes by Caicedo. The run was good from midfield and Enzo Fernandez, and they've turned it over again here, but Bayern have reacted well, and Neuer is eventually cleared from inside his own penalty area. But Chelsea not giving Bayern any peace at the moment, but they've got the other side of the ball now. James has lost it. Kimmich coming forward. Kane picks it up centre field, sends it wide. Luis Diaz tries to go on the inside, right-footed, drives it low into the belly of the goal, but it's caught by Robert Sanchez and cleared away.
Yeah, and very quickly Chelsea picked the ball up, and as Enzo Fernandez is trying to counter, Serge Gnabry knows exactly what he's doing there by fouling him right on the halfway line and just denying Chelsea the chance to maybe catch Bayern a little bit short of the back. The shot from Luis Diaz was that double step over, cutting in from the edge of the 18-yard box. Unfortunately for Chelsea, straight at Sanchez.
Well, Bayern usually turn up in games like this. They start the group phase well in whatever guise it is. Since 2003-04, when the second group stage was removed, Bayern have the highest win percentage of any Champions League team. And they are leading this game by 2-1. Kane and an own goal from Chalobah before Cole Palmer just put the frighteners on them a little bit in that first 45. Bowie's come in and got actually up to the pace of the game very quickly on that right-hand side. Enzo Maresca thinking about maybe turning to his bench now. Ball played out towards this right-hand side. Notice that Chelsea wearing their home kit tonight, but all of their technical staff wearing the garb which is associated with the third kit, which has the old badge on it that you used to wear back in the day.
Is that right?
Yeah, which is slightly odd because it was never that popular, that badge, anyway. They only changed it for about 10 years, and for some reason they decided to bring it back for this season on the third kit and all of the sort of tracksuits that go with that. Here is Lima stealing the ball and then sending forward. Towards the edge of the area he goes. Kane goes to his left, takes over, then shoots low towards the goalkeeper's legs, and he manages to kick it behind Sanchez and make the stop either side of him, and that was going to be 3-1. It was a big stop from Sanchez, but it was right at him.
Tell you, it's great play that from Lima again. Now as a left back, ball goes in to Luis Diaz on the halfway line. He releases Lima. Harry Kane makes a brilliant run outside of him. Then Tosin's got a problem. Do I go the ball or do I go Harry Kane? He kind of went the ball. It was on Harry Kane's left foot. Corner of the 6-yard box. Hit it well, but Robert Sanchez big and diverts it away for a corner.
Kane furious with himself that he didn't finish that off. He just take an extra touch which took him away from goal.
I'm surprised he missed it, Sam. That for Harry Kane is a really good chance.
Gnabry from the short corner from Kimmich, back to Elise, bending the ball to the far post, headed away strongly by Jean Pedro, and then retrieved over on the far side by Sacha Bowie. Just took him a little bit wide, that extra touch, didn't it? And then he was almost a little bit off balance, didn't get as much power in it as he would like, but he knew it was a massive chance because he came away screaming at the heavens.
Yeah, he certainly did. It was a great run from Harry Kane. And look, we know he's not the absolute quickest, of course he's not, but when he puts his head down and really goes, when he senses there's possibly a goal or a chance or a moment where he can get a strike away, he really did go for that and got himself into an excellent position.
Well, 2-1, could have been 3-1. But Chelsea still in with it at the moment, within touching distance of Bayern Munich, who very much feel as if this year they will perform better in the competition. These are two consistent European performers. Yes, Chelsea have been away for a little while, and their yearly Champions League participation has sort of slipped in recent years. But Chelsea did qualify in 18 of 20 seasons between 2003, 4 and 22, 23.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive, isn't it? It really is.
We know the landscape. Not many of these players have been involved in it before. It's a different Chelsea now. Bayern have the ball inside their own territory. It's with Kimmich, and then out to the left-hand side where Lima has settled in nicely after switching from right back. Neuer allowed the ball to travel across his body and then had to rifle it into Upamecano. Up it goes to Bowie, who's on halfway. Further on now to Elise. Elise cuts infield. Kane, who's dropped deep, picks it up. Then nudges it back out to Bowie. Wants a return. Gets to the byline. Kane tucks it back. Comes towards Elise. It's a stunning stop down to his right by Sanchez. Brilliant reflexes by the big Spanish goalkeeper. He's kept Chelsea in the game.
Oh, what a stop. Do you know, it's magnificent football from Bayern down their right side. Harry Kane, the architect of it. He knocks it out outside of him to Bowie, then goes again, gets to the byline, cuts it back. Clever little dummy from Luis Diaz. Michael Elise is walking onto this penalty spot on his left foot. He lets it roll across his body, hits it, but Robert Sanchez, sprawling, throwing himself to his right, manages to make a magnificent save. I mean, it's a wonderful stop, that really is.
Well, he does have his critics, he does make mistakes, but he does do that. And that was a match-saving save.
Oh, it was. Brilliant moment for Chelsea, that, because it looked like at least I was just waiting for it to hit the back of the net. He was in a great position, totally unmarked, penalty spot. He let it roll across his body, which maybe just gave Sanchez a little bit of time, but still had a lot to do and got a massive hand on it. So it's great football all round, that.
Really was. And the build-up play from Bayern, as you said, absolutely terrific. So slick, so sharp. And Harry Kane was very much a part of that.
Certainly was. I mean, they've just created two brilliant chances, Bayern. You know, I mentioned at the start that second half Chelsea had looked pretty comfortable 10 minutes in, but now all of a sudden we're at the 60th minute and Bayern have just created two gilt-edged moments, and I'm amazed they haven't taken one of them.
It's amazing, isn't it, because this competition gives you a tough task right from the very top. You don't get a chance to settle into it. Bayern, Chelsea, Newcastle, Barcelona, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Manchester City against the Italian champions. It's full-blooded from the very start. It tests you, and getting off to a good start is important. Bowie down the right, getting into the box with a cross which is just a little bit too high for Harry Kane, and taken down by Gusto. And off to safety by the Chelsea man, although Palmer has been robbed by Lima, who's got beyond him, poked it back infield to Harry Kane, who's just dropped out of the area and looking for the forward pass. Went to Kimmich instead. Now Diaz, back to Kimmich once more. Sent forward out towards the right-hand side, but then into Bowie, across to Pavlovic, back out to Elise again. Bowie's got it back right edge of the area. Then on to Elise once more, and Bayern just keeping possession of Chelsea, just marshalling the edge of their penalty area. Bowie might have been an offside position there. And the flag has stayed down. Eventually, the referee just says to the linesman, if you're not going to put your flag up, I'm just going to blow the whistle.
Which is exactly right. The linesman, as ever, they wait, don't they? They wait to see where it materialises, where the ball ends up, where it goes. But I think we can... It's a tight call. I mean, it's a very tight... Actually, at the moment that the ball was played to Bowie, I think Chalobah playing him onside.
It's a big call for the referee to overrule the linesman as Kane comes forward into the penalty area. Chelsea have given the ball away, and Harry Kane is amongst the goals again, stroking it firmly right-footed into the far corner, beyond the despairing dive of a furious Robert Sanchez. And Bayern Munich do have their third goal. They've been knocking at the door over the last few minutes. Enzo Maresca is bemused. Chelsea may well be beat. Bayern Munich have three.
Yeah, well, Sanchez plays it out to Chalobah. The centre-halves have split. The ball goes up the line to Malo Gusto, who loses possession. And the ball goes right to Harry Kane, who just lets it roll past him, turns, sweeps it past Robert Sanchez, who's miles out of his goal. And then he's having to try and recover. He doesn't really know where he is. But that's careless, Malo Gusto there. If you're going to try and play your way out, which is what Chelsea did there, Sanchez rolled the ball to Chalobah. Chalobah was almost on the touchline on the right side, rolls it up the line to Gusto, and he loses it. Those centre-halves are massively out of position. The ball finds Harry Kane, and he doesn't miss from there, no chance.
Well, he's closing in on 100 goals for Bayern Munich. This is his 102nd game. He's got 95 now, Harry Kane, and he's got 2 against Chelsea tonight. Pavlovic replaced by Goretzka, which was a change that they were thinking about making before the game, just to add a little bit of muscularity to the middle of the park. But they've now got the scoreboard advantage, and now they can just squeeze the game, Bayern Munich. They know if they don't give anything more away, they're walking away with 3 points. This is not where Chelsea wanted to be.
Again, see how the game has got away from Chelsea in just the 7 or 8 minutes. They looked, I thought, very comfortable at the start of the second period, and then all of a sudden we saw that initial Harry Kane chance. We saw another one. Luis Diaz perhaps might have hit the target a little bit better, and then eventually Michael Elise testing Sanchez, forcing a brilliant save before Harry Kane actually goes and gets the third. And they just turned up the heat a little bit, and Chelsea have, unfortunately, trying to play their way out, played themselves into trouble, and have handed them, I think, a pretty straightforward situation.
Well, you talk about it, when you list the chances like that, it's actually galling that the goal comes from a serious mistake that Malo Gusto has made, because Chelsea had managed to ride the storm, despite the fact that Bayern had put on the pressure. but now they find themselves in a really tricky position. They've got 25 minutes to go. They need 2 goals just to get something out of the match.
Yep.
And it's come because of an error. It's too casual. A heavy touch from Gusto. Chelsea now 3-1 down, preparing to make a double substitution. Andre Santos and Alejandro Garnacho about to come on for Chelsea. They had to come from behind against Brentford. They did that, went into a 2-1 lead, then threw away the game late on. And again, it's just concentration, isn't it, Andy?
Yep.
It's about being robust and experience in these big games.
Very good point. You know, I'm just thinking about the ball Chalobah rolled into Malo Gusto, a straight ball into him. He's got nowhere to really go when he receives it. Now, he was careless with it, and it was his fault. But maybe Chalobah there goes over the top of Malo Gusto and finds perhaps João Pedro, or even up the line towards Cole Palmer.
It's not a place to take risks, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And that often happens when you see the centre-half split 60 yards apart. If someone gives the ball away, it's how quick can you recover, and they couldn't. Harry Kane was standing totally unmarked in the box, just let the ball come to him, roll past him, and then swept it beautifully into the corner.
67 on the clock. Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1. Talksport 2. And Chelsea find themselves in an invidious position now of needing 2 goals to get just a point out of the game. It's Talksport 2 on a Champions League night with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Here is Gnabry. Good skill over on the right by Elise. He's had a particularly good game, I think. Gnabry with a little back heel. They're starting to ooze with confidence now, Bayern Munich.
Start to enjoy themselves. Chelsea got to narrow down now, be nice and solid in the middle of the park.
Goretzka powering forward, works it wide to Luis Diaz. Diaz taking on Gusto down the left side of the box. He cuts it back to Goretzka. Then it's on to Bowie. Bowie out to the right. The cross from Elise towards the far post is an effort, actually, which flashes past the outside of the post and goes narrowly wide.
Tell you what, lovely football that from Bayern. When they start rattling those passes into each other really hard and firm and first time, they look really impressive the way they knock it about. Michael Elise on the left foot, stepping in off that right side in the box, trying to curl that into the far corner. It's not very far wide.
Interesting to see what happens here, because Andre Santos is coming on, James is coming off, Pedro Neto being replaced by Alejandro Garnacho, and I suppose that means that Fernandes might go back into a more defensive position alongside Caicedo, and Santos will go further forward. He had a great chance against Crystal Palace to win the game late on and missed it. Andre Santos. On he comes.
Yeah, fresh legs, I think, is sensible at this stage.
Yeah, the dynamic Brazilian. He returned from Strasbourg. He was on loan there last season. 11 league on goals last campaign. That's not too shabby. Here is Kane, looking to try and play the ball infield, finds Elise. Now Bowie just travels down the right. Garnacho, who was criticised actually for his defending late on in the game against Brentford, not switched on that long throw right at the very end. Back trying to make a tackle on Michael Elise. Goes all the way back to Kimmich, and then on the halfway line, Bayern Munich have possession. What will Enzo Maresco be thinking at this moment, having sort of had flashes of good bits of performance in this game, but losses of concentration in key moments?
It's those moments, Sam, you're absolutely right. They just drifted a little bit for a few minutes, feeling comfortable in the game. You do that sometimes when you're thinking we're doing okay here, we're not doing too bad, and all of a sudden you start to just labour the passes, and you don't play one touch and you play 2 and 3, and Bayern just sort of picked it up a little bit, created a couple of chances and gave themselves a bit of a lift, and Chelsea just couldn't seem to respond.
Bowie sends it wide, out to the right, collected by Michael Elise of Bayern Munich, far side as they look at it, comes back into Goretzka. Goretzka just a little bit casual with his ball forward. Palmer intervened momentarily, nudged it back to halfway. Lima gets hold of it again, but Bayern's so comfortable now to have that cushion of the 2 goals. They know that if they're sensible and don't force the issue now and just keep as much possession as possible, and they've been pretty good at that already, then they will see this one over the line. And that's frustrating for Chelsea, because it's now up to them to wrestle the ball back and come up with something, conjure something.
Yeah. It's only 12-13 minutes ago that I said that Chelsea have established themselves nicely in the second period. And again, you often see this. Champions League football is all about moments, honestly, it really is. You can feel comfortable, you can have good possession. You don't take your moments, you often come up against some big ones.
It's a brilliant ball by Luis Diaz out towards the far side. It's collected by Aliso, cuts into the penalty area, gets it back onto his left foot, followed by Correa, who makes a really good and effective challenge, and then Enzo Fernandez gives the ball away. Now got the Chelsea captain's armband on, but he made a serious error there, almost gave it back to Harry Kane. And again, passing out from the back, Chelsea just a little bit too risky. They almost give it away, but now Garnacho has been fed by Caicedo. He's over the halfway line and running at Kimmich. He plays it left onto João Pedro. Garnacho goes on into the centre. João Pedro continues his run down the left-hand side. Garnacho comes back out to meet him, and then the ball goes stuck to the feet of João Pedro, and he does brilliantly to hold on to it. But Chelsea go backwards when they really should be trying to fashion a way of getting back into the game. Cole Palmer out wide on the right, looks up, delivers the cross, it's towards the far post, and Kimmich had to stretch and head that away because it was aimed into the path of Garnacho, and Bayern can bring it clear.
Michael Olise's played well, hasn't he? He's played very, very intelligently. Not only has he used the ball beautifully, and he's got, like Palmer, he's got that lovely knack of making the game look ridiculously easy, when we all know it's not. He's played very well. He's played incisively, played forward when he's had to, and then keeping it, slowing it down when the team need a little breather. He's particularly good at recognising that.
Kimmich all the way back to his goalkeeper Manuel Neuer, who is about to rack up a special number tonight. He's looking to become the 4th player to reach 100 Champions League wins. That looks very likely with 18 minutes to go. Here is Palmer. Good ball forward to João Pedro. Kim comes across to try and defend him. João Pedro manages to work it wide to Malagusto. Malagusto infield to André Santos. Santos to Caicedo. Back to Caicedo into Enzo Fernandez. Now it's left to Garnacho. Garnacho gets to the edge of the box. Need a little bit of trickery here. Some sort of guile to open up this Bayern defence. Fernandez's ball is deflected into the air. Flicked on by João Pedro. Away by Conrad Lama. And then won by Gusto, right side of the box. He gets a little bit of contact from Luis Diaz. Is that a free kick, Chelsea, right on the edge of the penalty area?
Looks like it. I think it's an inadvertent one. I think Luis Diaz just catches Malagusto just outside the box. Catches him just on the ankle. I don't think he meant to. Oh, look, he's just stood on the back of his Achilles. It's actually a sore one, but he didn't mean it. He had eyes for the ball, but doesn't help Malagusto right now, who's felt the full force of that.
It's definitely a free kick on this near touchline. Could have been a yellow card for Luis Diaz.
I agree. Could have been, just because of the sort of challenge it was just so clumsy. I think it should have been.
It's endangering the safety of an opponent.
It is.
And here's a free kick down by the short corner. Gusto, I think, also still smarting for the slip and the ball backwards that led to the Harry Kane goal for 3-1.
Bad goal, that one. Listen, if I felt the first goal tonight was a little harsh on Chelsea, the second one was a challenge on the edge of the box that Caicedo probably had to make. The third one is a shambles. The third one's a mess. Chelsea in control of the ball, trying to play their way out. In the end, prod a hopeful ball back into their own box, straight to the most lethal man on the planet.
Yeah, not the best of ideas. Enzo Fernandez takes the free kick. He hits the first man. It's terrible, really. It comes out to Palmer and he just wallops the ball goalwards and it goes wide and out for a goal kick. That's not great. That's a mistake. And a missed opportunity, and Chelsea really have got to take whatever comes their way.
Yeah, they've kind of lost their rhythm now. There's kind of sensing that they don't want to get beaten up here and go and concede another couple of late goals and be on the end of something significant. I mentioned they've been very competitive. It would be great if they could find a way to respond and nick one back with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, the game just feels as if it's got away from them a bit. And they've got 15 to go. Palmer, his goal feels a long time ago now. Here's Caicedo. just over the halfway line, just approaching the centre circle. Back it goes to Cole Palmer on this inside right channel. Everyone in red behind the ball, including Harry Kane. And Chelsea look to try and forge a path forward. Garnacho, who's under pressure from Bowie, guides it all the way back to Tosin, and they'll keep ball here. Tosin forward into Palmer. That was intelligent, but Lima was right up behind him, and then the ball played forward towards Malo Gusto, helped by Luis Diaz away from danger, and then Santos a little bit too eager trying to win it ahead of Gnabry, gives away the foul.
Yeah. He does that well, actually, Kimmich. Anytime he's under a little bit of pressure, facing the wrong way, and he feels the slightest nudge, hits the floor and flaps his arms, and invariably gets the free kick.
Chelsea can get a goal in the next 5 minutes. We can have a grandstand last 10. Game's just started to drift a little bit because Bayern know that they're in such an advantageous position. Here is Kim, under pressure from Palmer. Works it out to Lima, who's also been excellent. Good turn by Kane. Shrugs off his marker. Moves the ball away to halfway. Chalobah didn't stand a chance. He charges down the left. Enzo Fernandez trying to stick with him. Kane goes over, and the free kick goes in favour of the Chelsea man.
What a great pressure relieving run though from Harry Kane. In the end, he's just run out of gas a little bit. Enzo manages to just get back and goal side, and Harry Kane fouls him, but the initial turn was about 35 yards from his own goal on Chalobah, and he left him on the floor and then sprinted towards the other end. He's played very well tonight, Harry Kane.
He's been brilliant all season.
He's
like
been
terrific.
You know, you're watching a top striker who knows exactly what he's good at and does that. Doesn't try to do stuff, Harry Kane, that he can't do. And I think he's in the absolute peak of his powers.
Do you know what? It's interesting you say that, because I think there's always a lot of discussion about, you know, should there be an alternative to him for England, etc., etc. And yes, there should always be a backup. But you watched the way he played against Serbia. I thought you saw an almost elevated Harry Kane. Much sharper, much more confident, much more self-assured. Yeah. He played so well in that game, and he's done that at the beginning of this season for Bayern Munich as well. He looks like he knows he belongs at the top of the tree.
Yeah, he can look a little bit leggy sometimes in the big competitions in the summertime, Sam, can't he?
Do you know that 2024, Thomas Tuchel was talking to us about this. He said he was injured. I know he was injured because I was his Bayern boss 2 months beforehand. I know that he was carrying something.
Right, yeah.
You know, he's fit now. He's 100% fit now, and he's talked about that in the build-up to this game. And there is a massive difference between a 100% fit Harry Kane and a Harry Kane that's carrying something.
Yeah, no, very true. It's been excellent tonight. Really, really good.
Big long clearance after Chalobah's treatment comes to an end, and Chelsea go on the hunt again to try and get back into the game, but it seems a forlorn task now. Into Kane, away by up to Elise. Again, Fernandez got something on it, but not quite enough. It was lacking a little bit of conviction, that challenge, and Bayern have it again on the halfway line, and Chelsea have sort of wilted as the game has gone on.
What they have done a lot of, Gnabry's stepped in. I'll let this develop, Sam.
Here's Bowie down the right hand side. He's got the wrong side of Garnacho, tries to centre the ball, but there's no one waiting for it at the near post, and Sanchez comes out and collects.
What they've done well, Bayern, is Gnabry, as I was just going to say, drops it right in deep on the halfway line. Harry Kane drops right in deep on the halfway line. Elise steps in. You know, they've always got big numbers in the middle of the park, and they've kind of
swamped Chelsea.
They have a little bit. Certainly that first 10 minutes, second half, I thought that's good. Chelsea have started nicely, but then once Bayern started creating chances, they've kind of had the run of it in there.
They've just known when to flood that area of the field and take charge of it as a result. 10 minutes to go. Liverpool still lead Atletico by 2-1 on Talksport. 3-0 PSG up over Atalanta. Ajax 0 into 2, and here it's 3-1 to Bayern Munich. In the League Cup, Swansea have got one back. It's 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. Ange Postecoglou hoping to steer his team through to Carabao Cup round 4. Here is Luis Diaz looking to break down the left-hand side. He runs into Gusto, then Kane, who's in the central midfield position, wins it, plays it forward. Diaz rolls it forward, plays it out towards Gnabry, but Gusto managed to poke out a right foot behind his body to stop the crossfield pass. And Chelsea have it back again with Tosin into Enzo Fernandez. They don't look like they're going anywhere though when they get the ball, Chelsea. Here is Garnacho. Again, wasn't the perfect pass. And who's there to stop Enzo Fernandez from progressing?
Yeah.
It's Harry Kane.
It certainly is, yeah. He's complaining, Harry Kane, there, that he felt that was a Bayern throw. Chelsea got it in the end. We're about to make another sub, Sam.
They are indeed. And Chelsea fans will be pleased to see this fella. Esteval, 18 years of age. In fact, he's 18 years and 46 days old. He replaces Enzo Fernandez. He missed Saturday's draw with Brentford due to illness. And it's a debut in the Champions League for Esteval. And prior to this season, only 3 South American players had scored in the competition aged younger than him. Endrick, Roque Santa Cruz and Lionel Messi.
Yeah, good luck to Esteval, enters the fray. Enzo Fernandez had that great chance for Chelsea at 0-0, didn't he, early on in the game when he could well have taken the shot first time, and I think had he have done so, he'd have probably scored. It was okay this evening, nothing more than that, Enzo. Was a little careless in possession at times.
Again, Andre Santos a little bit careless in possession from a deeper position now, sending it forward. And the rejig, I think, means that Cole Palmer will go into a more central position, will he? Let's just see how it materialises for Chelsea, because they've got João Pedro at the top of the formation with Esteval on the left and Palmer on the right. Santos actually in a deeper position. Actually, it looks as if Esteval's gone into the number 10 position with Garnacho still out wide on the left-hand side.
I think they're just trying to match Bayern up deep in their own half and go sort of man for man a little bit. And when Neuer's got the ball and he's playing his way out and he's rolling it to the side, I think Chelsea just want to make sure they've got numbers that are willing to press and go kind of man for man, really.
Eight minutes to go before the end of the game. This is Talksport 2, and we're live tonight bringing you coverage from Bavaria. It's Bayern Munich who lead by 3-1 in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football.
Sam, I mentioned at the start of the night about Enzo Maresca. Do you think there's anything he could have done that might have prevented this 2-goal cushion at this stage of the game?
Well, I think arguably, and you're more better placed to sort of assess that than me, really, but I think that Chelsea's problem this evening has been a lack of ruthlessness in front of goal, maybe moments of naivety, and I think that sort of lends itself to the fact that Enzo Maresca is still dealing with a very young squad of players. There's no one in there that is truly experienced that can get hold of the players and say, right, okay, look, you've had a couple of warnings now, keep your head.
Very true. I'm just trying to think, you know, what else could he have done, maybe? Well, what could he have done in that period when, and again, a manager, this is what separates good managers from others. You get that sense something's happening, something's going against your team. Right now, there's another one.
Luis Diaz has been released by Gnabry, and he runs into the area, he spaces up Robert Sanchez, who makes another big save. Offside flag might have gone up against him anyway, but he's going mad, Robert Sanchez, because this is a fella who's made some terrific saves tonight, and he's sitting there and he's saying to the rest of his troops, you have got to do your part as well. You cannot keep giving the ball away cheaply and loosely.
See, this is one of those classic scenarios here. Luis Diaz is clearly 2 yards offside. He runs the ball into the box, and Cucurella, Diaz and Sanchez clatter into each other. Someone can break an ankle there or break a leg.
Well, Diaz has gone down.
He's gone down, he's hurt, and he's clearly offside. Now this is this rule where that's exactly what players fear and coaches fear with that rule, and
keeping the flag down when they should be putting it up.
Put it up when you're 2 yards offside.
5 minutes to go before the end. A little bump for Cucurella from Michael Elise over on the far side. And that's a yellow card that's been coming. We probably should have had one in the first half. That's a yellow card for a challenge on Marc Cucurella. 6 minutes to go. This is Talksport 2. And Bayern lead Chelsea by 3-1 in the Champions League. Live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Manchester City Napoli on 2 tomorrow. We've got Newcastle Barcelona on Talksport tomorrow night as well. Saturday Liverpool against Everton is live on Talksport. Championship action here Friday night. It's all the football all the time. You know it makes sense. It's got to be the Talksport network. Another yellow card, this time for Conrad Lima for tripping João Pedro.
Yep, they're pretty cynical, Bayern. I tell you, when Chelsea have skipped past 1 or 2 challenges, Gnabry did one a little while ago on the halfway line. Lima's just done one there, didn't get away with it. Yellow card for the Bayern man.
Garnacho hasn't really had an influence on the game over on the left-hand side. Needs to get up to speed with Chelsea, and quickly. Here is Chalobah. There's a lot of competition for places in the Chelsea team now, but you look around and they're all very young, aren't they?
They are young. It is a young side.
Santos coming off the bench is 21. Garnacho coming off the bench, 21. Esteval, 18 tonight, has the ball now left side. Now on to Garnacho again. Motors towards the edge of the area, flips across into the box, headed away by Min Jae-Kim. It's collected by Chalobah, high up inside Bayern territory, wide on the right. Back infield it goes again. It's collected by Tosin Adarabioyo, then on to Caicedo, wearing the captain's armband now. And it's back to Cucurella. Esteval trying to take on Upamecano. Little trick to come infield. Does so well to give it to João Pedro. João Pedro back to Caicedo. Santos once again. Plays it on to Chalobah. Chalobah back infield and Caicedo again. Chelsea not really going anywhere, but keeping hold of the ball.
Yeah, Bayern sat everybody back behind the ball.
Inviting Chelsea, saying, go on if you can.
Yeah.
Open us up.
Try and play through us, and of course Chelsea invariably going backwards.
Garnacho, as the ball goes over the top, into the centre, looking for João Pedro. Again, the cross isn't great, and it's away by Min Jae-Kim.
No.
Kept in by Cucurella, tight to the touchline. A little bit of a wrestle with Elise over on the far side. They keep it moving back into a central position with Chalobah. Everyone in Bayern red behind the ball once more, just camped inside their own half, making sure that they see this 3 points through. Vincent Kompany will be very pleased to start with a victory tonight. Remember, Chelsea unbeaten in 9 before they come here this evening. It's a good victory for Bayern Munich at the start of a competitive season, a flawless season so far for Kompany and co. Santos, too casual, gives the ball away. Gnabry sees it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Chelsea, Man United away at the weekend, 5:30. Lincoln City in the League Cup after that. Brighton to come, then Benfica and Liverpool. It's relentless. Here is Garnacho, over on the left, darting infield. Esteval takes over, stumbles, he tries to take on Kim, produces a decent cross.
Good cross, wasn't it? Everybody on their heels. Nobody thought Esteval could cross that and get that in the box. And he did exactly that.
Well, that's the talent that he's got. Here he is on the ball again, leaves it for Garnacho, inside the area, tries to shoot it towards the near corner. It was a difficult one from that sort of range. And he's made Neuer make a save.
Yeah.
The best chance was earlier, though, the way he wriggled into position there, Esteval, getting the cross in, and it just went through the 6-yard box, and even the Bayern defence were caught cold.
They were.
If João Pedro had got across there, then Chelsea had a chance. Esteval, again, looking to try and make something happen. Garnacho now, starting to run at Sacha Boey. Comes in on his right foot, he gives it to João Pedro, no one in the box for Chelsea. Malagusto. It's Santos trying to feed it into Cole Palmer,
yes.
Who pokes it through the legs and past Manuel Neuer, and Chelsea are on the scoreboard for a second time on the night, and they close the gap to Bayern Munich to just 1 with a minute to go.
It's a brilliant finish. It's such a clever finish from Cole Palmer. Just gets a tiny little bit on the ball, just dabs it past Manuel Neuer. Oh, he's offside, sir. Going to be off.
Is the VAR going to come to Bayern's rescue?
Oh, what a shame. Do you know, great movement from Cole Palmer. He's right on the 18-yard line, shows towards the ball and then goes back, darts back into the box, and it looks like he's gone a fraction too soon to me.
Just a little flick of the boot.
The finish.
It's so cute, it's so delicate, it's unstoppable. And Cole Palmer just waiting to hear the prognosis of the VAR. There is a goal check. Wow. Because of the offside, and offside is the call, no goal. And Bayern are a little bit fortunate, because that would have been a very interesting last few minutes of the game.
Yeah, that would. this is where you missed the lap as well. See, if you got Delap on the bench coming off, say that goes in, and you got another 5 minutes, and you stick a big lad, you know, all of a sudden those sort of dynamics can make the difference.
It's a different dimension, isn't it?
Yeah.
They haven't really got that. They've only really got those short, cute players at the moment because Delap is injured. Off comes Kane to be replaced by Nicholas Jackson. How strange is it that he's eligible to play against his parent club? But they are the rules. He comes off the bench to be on the winning side at the end of the game. And Bischoff is coming onto the pitch as well. Tom Bischoff. Two changes, Gnabry and Kane for Bischoff and Nicholas Jackson.
Harry Kane brilliant tonight. Classic performance from a centre forward who knows his game inside out, knows he's got to get the goals, delivered in that respect, but also played really cleverly, particularly second half, really effectively.
Yeah, excellent. Tactically, knowing when to drop, knowing when to pick the ball up. 6 minutes of added time, we played one of those. Jackson leading the line now for Bayern Munich. Tom Bischoff making his Champions League debut off the bench this evening, the young German who was at Hoffenheim last season, actually starting the game with Tottenham Hotspur in that competition. 3-2 defeat. Lima to take the throw-in down by the corner flag. Bayern quite happy to try and see the game out now. Diaz, Lima, back to Bischoff, and then on to Min-jae Kim. And that goal that Palmer thought he'd scored, scrubbed off by VAR for a very small offside infraction. Semi-automated offside technology making that process pretty quick. Foul by Estevao. Just slows the game right at the end. A little bit petulant from him. I just wonder how much contact there was there, actually.
Hardly any. Kimmitt's actually starting to wind me up now every time I see him hit the floor, Sam. Keeps falling over at the merest of touches.
A little tickle.
Yeah, this ref keeps blowing his whistle.
Well, I don't think he did Chelsea any favours in the first half, that's for sure. And I think that actually, if that second goal hadn't have happened, then Chelsea would have been in a little bit of a better position going into the second half. But once they concede the third, Chelsea really have run out of ideas.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no, the better team is going to win this match.
Oh dear. Caicedo's given the ball away to Nicholas Jackson, who's trying to chip his former colleague from 45 yards. It was wide of goal in the end, missed the target, but just had a few hearts in Mal's moments there.
I think that was his first touch there, Nicholas Jackson. It was a shot from, as you say, 47 yards. Sanchez was almost on the edge of his own 18-yard box.
That would have been a way to say goodbye, wouldn't it? Palmer forward. On to João Pedro. Foul by Min-jae Kim.
Do they get Palmer involved enough, Chelsea, when he's off the right side? When they're in those moments when the game's starting to go against them a little bit? He's always the one for me, Cole Palmer, that initiates everything, that provides them the bit of spark, the bit of magic. When he's playing off the right side, sometimes
just lacks.
Can't get in the ball enough.
Yeah. Here is Garnacho down the left, trying to get the ball into the box. They have got it into the box, and again, no one there to get on the end of it. Comes back out of Caicedo, pokes it wide onto the right-hand side. Gusto into the penalty area, turned behind by Min-jae Kim, and it's out for a corner in the 4th minute of stoppage time. 3-1 Bayern. I also wonder as well, Andy, when you've got Palmer on the ball, who's he looking for? Because João Pedro very often is drifting into those spaces.
Spacing him up, yeah. He does. It was Malo Gusto did it a lot. Made those runs beyond the Bayern backline in the first half. Second half, not so easy for him to do it.
Chelsea had won 16 of 20 games either side of the summer prior to tonight, but the Champions League is a step up, and Bayern have flexed their muscles this evening. Estevao to take a corner in stoppage time. 3-1 to Bayern Munich. Left-footed ball, delivered into a dangerous area, takes a couple of cannons, comes back out to Andre Santos. And he goes down under pressure, and Nicholas Jackson is to the left, and Upamecano is leading the charge forward. He goes down, good challenge by Tosin, and Palmer turns it back to face the Bayern goal. On they come with Garnacho. Andre Santos in the centre. Garnacho goes down. João Pedro takes over. Looks up. Chelsea haven't given up the ghost yet. Garnacho trying to take on Kim. Just repelled by the Korean. Into Palmer. Palmer sets the ball down the left. Tries to get the cross into the penalty area. It takes a pop off of the defender. Out comes Neuer. Commands his penalty area so well. And Bayern have possession back, and they're going to win this game.
Yeah, Cole Palmer just whacking that ball across the 6-yard box, was just touching his groin a little bit there. That's the last thing Chelsea need.
Yellow card for Chelsea. Andre Santos picking it up for a late challenge.
Yeah, just a little bit of frustration there from the young man. Nicholas Jackson it was who was in possession of the ball, and he has royally upended him, knocked him about 6 foot off the ground.
Andre Santos getting the yellow card. Chelsea hoping that there's no further damage to Cole Palmer. They missed him when he was out of the West Ham game. He picked up something in the warm-up, missed that match, and missed the international break as a result.
He's still holding his groin.
Yes, he is. He doesn't look comfortable, and that is a concern for Chelsea. And they've been beaten here in the Allianz Arena. Beaten by Bayern Munich, who, for large parts, were the better team in this game. There was a couple of controversial moments in the first half where Chelsea defenders felt that decisions had gone against them. But it's Bayern Munich who maintain their 100% start to the season and inflict upon Chelsea a first defeat of the campaign. A first defeat in 10 matches. Harry Kane brilliant throughout. Bayern Munich ruthless when they took their chances. Chelsea not so, and that's why Bayern have beaten them by 3-1, Andy.
Yeah, good game. Enjoyed the game. We spoke before the match about the sort of test it will be for Chelsea. Well, I think they'll have learned tonight that these Champions League matches are kind of rise and fall. There's moments when the game goes into a bit of a lull, then all of a sudden it picks up and the pace can be really electrifying at times. And there's just in those key moments, you go out of possession, you've got to react quickly. A couple of times tonight Chelsea didn't. One glaring error for the third goal really cost them. They were competitive but never quite had enough here.
OK, time to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
And former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend gets the honour of selecting the player of the match.
Yeah, Elise was good. Cole Palmer was actually very good for Chelsea. But it's Harry Kane, a master of his craft, a master of someone who knows exactly what to do in the key moments. 2 very, very important goals for the team, and he played excellent, particularly second half.
And that was our man of the match, Here For It hero with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.